was a beautiful story. But you know, something I've been wondering about is, how did you become Baha'i? I mean, how did you hear about the Baha'i faith? Isn't it more of a Eastern religion?
Oh, Kim. Well, for me, I met a boy. I met a Baha'i.
Oh.
Who happened to be a boy.
Okay.
But he was the one who introduced me to Baha'u'llah's writings. When I started reading Baha'u'llah's writings, I grew attracted to the greatness of the message. I felt suddenly motivated to wanting to make the world a better place. It was as if my soul had come home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, these were principles that I had always believed in deep down inside. And although Baha'u'llah was born in the East, the message of the Baha'i faith is world-embracing. I mean, the religion of God isn't for just a select few. It's for all of humanity.
Yeah.
So, ladies, still working on those lattes, eh?
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, actually, I was thinking about it. Do you want to share a cheesecake?
Yes, let's share cheesecake.
Share? Yes, great. I'll be right back with your order.
Attitude.
Oh.
Where were we?
So you were saying how you became a Baha'i, but another thing I was wondering then is, how did it actually come to North America even? Because I'm guessing that Baha'u'llah...
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm guessing he didn't speak or write English, right?
True. Yeah, he
Okay.
didn't. I mean, later on, many Baha'is came to the West, including Baha'u'llah's son, Abdul Baha. But it was the British historian, what's his name? Oh, Edward Granville Browne. He was the first to reference the Baha'i faith in his writings. Later on, he traveled east and met Baha'u'llah. Did you know he spoke Persian?
No, I've never heard of him. Edward Granville Browne?
Yeah.
Weird. You know, I'm a history major from university, but I've never heard of him.
Oh, Kim, I don't know why you've never heard of him. Obviously, a huge oversight on the part of the university.
I was privileged to meet Baha'u'llah in his later years. After his many exiles and imprisonments within the Ottoman Empire, which encompassed much of the Middle East, he came to reside in the city of Akka. I went to Akka in the hope of meeting him. After I arrived there, I asked to have an audience with Baha'u'llah. One day soon after that, I was invited to his home. Now, I had no idea that this was Baha'u'llah's home or that he might be inside, for not even the slightest intimation had been given to me. I entered and found myself in a large apartment, along the upper end of which ran a low divan, which is like a sofa, and along the far wall were 2 or 3 chairs. A second or two elapsed before, with a throb of wonder and awe, I realized that there was definitely another presence in the room, that I was definitely not alone. There, in the corner where the divan met the wall, sat a wondrous and venerable figure, crowned with a felt headdress that dervishes call a taj, but it was unusually high and well crafted, and around the base of which was a small white turban. The face of him on whom I gazed, I can never forget, though I cannot describe it. Those piercing eyes seem to read one's very soul. Power and authority sat on that ample brow. The deep lines on his forehead and face implied an age which his jet black hair and beard, flowing down in indistinguishable luxuriance, seemed to contradict. No need to ask in whose presence I stood, as I fell to my knees and bowed before one who was the object of such love and devotion that kings might envy and emperors sigh for in vain. A mild, dignified voice bade me be seated. These are the words which Baha'u'lláh said to me, as best as I can recall them, and I have translated them into English. He said, "Praise be to God that thou hast attained. Thou hast come to see a prisoner and an exile. We desire but the good of the world and happiness of the nations, yet they deem us a stir-up of strife and sedition, worthy of bondage and banishment. That all nations should become one in faith, and all men as brothers, that the bonds of affection and unity between the sons of men be strengthened, that diversity of religion should cease, and differences of race be annulled. What harm is there in this? Yet so it shall be. These fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars, shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come." Do not you in Europe need this also? Is not this that which Christ foretold? Yet do we see your kings and rulers lavishing their treasures more freely on means for the destruction of the human race than on that which would conduce to the happiness of mankind. These strifes and this bloodshed and discord must cease, and all men be as one kindred and one family. Let not a man glory in this, that he loves his country. Let him rather glory in this, that he loves mankind. These were the words which, among many others, Baha'u'lláh said to me. Let all those who hear them consider well within themselves whether such teachings merit death and bondage, and whether the world is more likely to gain or lose by their